Howdy, it's Jim Morado, and this is actually it's September 14th of 2024. We're in Sutton, West Virginia, and we are at the Flatwoods Monster Museum. Came to town on this day to go to the Flatwoods Monster Convention. I'll put up another video on that. Also visited the really cool Bigfoot Museum. Anyway, here's a quick pan around of the Flatwoods Monster Museum. You get that old counter there that looks really cool, and it's obviously in an old repurposed building, just a cool place, period. And they sell a lot of stuff, as they should, and their prices are good, by the way. I mean, their postcards, I think they're 50 cents each or something like that. Stickers are a couple bucks. They're not gouging on prices. Sutton, West Virginia is just a few miles down the road from Flatwoods. In my mind, I kind of think of them as the same place, because if I go to one of them, I'm going to go to the other. It's a cool area. It's small, it's rural, it is definitely small town West Virginia. Flatwoods is kind of right off a major road, though. They've got Wendy's, McDonald's, and a Starbucks, a few other chain places. You can definitely get what you need there, but it's still a very small town. It's still very much West Virginia. Kind of a little pleasant area in my books. I enjoy the couple of times I've been able to go through town. If you're not familiar with the Flatwoods Monster, 1952, Flatwoods, West Virginia, some young boys were playing at a playground. They saw something kind of shoot through the sky and land in a field. They, along with a couple of the boys' mom, went up to investigate, and they saw, that green, some said black, but pretty much considered green and red, strange creature. They estimated it was around 12 feet tall, and it was scary, making noises. It kind of emitted some sort of a weird oily substance. Pretty interesting story. And I just gave you the very basics of it. Shortly after that, another couple spotted something similar elsewhere, but I think the main monster, the main story, is centered around Flatwoods, West Virginia, 1952, and of course, it's an hour or so away from Point Pleasant, West Virginia, home of John Keel, the Mothman, and all that good stuff. I've put up other videos on that. I'm sure I'll put up more in the future. But if you're a legend tripper, if you're into weird stories, if you're into UFO, cryptid, ghost kind of stuff, man, you've got to make your pilgrimage to Flatwoods and Point Pleasant. In fact, those are probably two of the more legendary strange encounter stories in American lore. It's I think those are two stories a lot of people know, and over the last couple of decades, I think both stories have become more famous, more popular. Of course, the movie The Mothman Prophecies, very loosely based on John Keel's book, brought a lot of attention to that story and to Point Pleasant, West Virginia. And then as you're reading up on these legends, the Flatwoods Monster just comes up a lot. The town and the area have started to do a good job of exploiting their legend, as they should, and they have this museum. It's a museum and it's a community visitor center. You can go here and get lots of free flyers, and like I said, if you got a $5 bill on you, you can walk out of here with several cool souvenirs. I could go on and on about that. I like what they're doing. Like I said, I think postcards are 50 cents. I bought a keychain for me. I don't know if it might have been $1. They've got cool stuff. They got the cool stuff cheap. If you're a little kid, if I came here, like I said, with $5, you could see all this cool stuff and walk out with some cool souvenirs. The Flatwoods Monster story, though, is definitely one of those legends where all of the witnesses pretty much swore to the same thing. They said they saw the same thing. And, decades later, nobody came forward to say, we made it all up. It's if you're into weird stories, man, it's a hard one to debunk, in my opinion. And, all the people were credible, honest people. And, if I was going to make up something freaked us out in the woods, it would have had horns. It would have looked like the devil. Um, I don't think it would have looked like the Flatwoods Monster. Of course, the Flatwoods Monster has influenced all sorts of pop culture games. You got it appears in trading card sets or the gaming card sets. I always heard that Orko from the Masters of the Universe was loosely based on it. He appears in various games. I'm not a gamer type, but I know he's all over the place. And of course, they've got all sorts of toys that kind of bear his image. He's cool looking, and yeah, just a cool, strange creature. Of course, I mentioned the Flatwoods Monster Convention was held on this day. We made a day trip out of this, so I didn't get to stay at the convention as long as I would have liked to have, but it was a lot of fun, and I'm sure it'll just grow each year as they have it. And the town also, I believe the Bigfoot Museum has been putting on a Bigfoot convention. I'm definitely going to have to look into that over the next few years. And like I said, Flatwoods is very close to Point Pleasant. And, if you're a traveler, you can make a nice little weekend trip out of both towns. They got a penny pressing machine. Of course, I had to get me a penny. Just lots of other cool stuff. I love this place. I love the fact that this town has a museum devoted to the Flatwoods Monster. This was actually I've been through town. This was my third trip. We stopped here briefly many years ago, and I don't think the town was running with it the way they are now. Me and a buddy came up a few years ago just to go and see the chairs that are around town and to try to see as much of Flatwoods as we could. And this is just a nice little town I'd like to get to more often. Have you been to the Flatwoods Monster Museum? If so, let me know what you think.